What's up, y'all? Trent Small, the chef, aka Red Specs. I'm here with another episode of Unscripted Conversations. Y'all know how we do every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your boy, Red Specs. Tonight, I'm getting into a deep pause because I'm starting to get upset about what's going on with this Voting Rights Act. Okay, all the southern states, Virginia, Louisiana, South Carolina, all this gerrymandering, all this stuff that's going on right now that's affecting the Black voters. Today's subject is, do politicians pick voters instead of voters picking politicians? Let me ask y'all something real tonight. And I'm going to talk about it tonight. Remember, I talk about the things people think about but are afraid to say out loud. So I'm the one that's going to say it out loud for you. How is it that every election season, right, politicians suddenly act like they know exactly where Black people live? They know exactly what church to visit. They know exactly what slang to use during election time. They know exactly what pain to bring up. But somehow, after the elections, our schools are still struggling. Our neighborhoods are still unfunded. Violence is still high. Our rents are still climbing. Our food prices are breaking people. And somehow we keep getting moved around like pieces on a damn chessboard. So tonight I got to ask uncomfortable questions. I'm sorry. Uncomfortable questions. Do we really pick politicians, or do politicians pick us first? Because if they can redraw maps, move district lines, split communities apart, right, and decide whose votes carry more power, then what are we really participating in? It's not the 14th Amendment. Definitely not that. Because the 14th Amendment says, and let me explain it in plain English, the 14th Amendment, okay? The main idea of the 14th Amendment was created after the American Civil War, right? To make sure formerly enslaved people were treated as citizens and protected by law, okay? Now, it basically says this. If you're born in the United States, you are a citizen. Even if your parents are immigrants, being born here generally makes you a citizen. It also says and states that states cannot take away your basic rights unfairly, right? A state cannot deny you fair treatment, take your freedom or your property without legal procedures, or treat one group differently from another without valid reason. This is where the idea of due process, fair treatment, and equal protection under the law comes from. Also, people who rebel against the United States government can be blocked from office. This section here was originally aimed at former Confederate leaders after the Civil War. Something to think about. What's happening to our leaders? The U.S. government must honor its legal debts, and it will not pay debts from the Confederacy. Also, Congress can pass laws to enforce these protections. This gives Congress the power to create civil rights laws. Okay. Now, why this matters today? Why this matters today? Because the 14th Amendment has been used in major court decisions, right, involving civil rights, racial equality, school segregation, marriage rights, voting rights, immigration, birthright citizenship, and police legal fairness, and on and on and on. Now, it's considered one of the most important amendments in the Constitution. So why are they changing shit up now? Tonight, we're talking about power, control, the black vote, and whether democracy feels real anymore. This is Unscripted Conversations, and somebody got to say it. That's me. Put your thoughts down in the comments, and let's get it going. Look, I know this topic is going to make some people uncomfortable. I know it is tonight. Good. You know, I don't care about that. I'm here to get my point across and what I believe and what most blacks believe as well. Because black people been uncomfortable for decades. We've been uncomfortable for decades. And what frustrates me is, like I said, every election cycle, everybody suddenly remembers black exists during that time. Every 4 years, it's, we need your vote. Your voice matters. This is the most important election of our lifetime. But after that, silence. And I'm tired of pretending people don't see what's happening. Now let's talk plain tonight, man. Let's talk plain tonight. A lot of people hear words like gerrymandering and redistricting and instantly tune out because it sounds like political college talk. Let me break it down, red spec style. Shall we? I want you to imagine your community finally starts gaining power, right? More black homeowners, more black voters, more unity, more people speaking up. Now imagine someone comes in and redraws invisible lines on a map. Lines that's splitting your neighborhood apart and grouping and groups you with areas that don't even share your struggle, right? And suddenly your voting power weakens. That's not random. That's strategy. And people wonder why so many Black Americans feel like their vote don't change anything. Because some people feel the game already started before they even showed up. And that's the conversation nobody wants to have but me. See, people love telling Black people, just vote, right? Just vote. Okay. But what happens when people feel like the system keeps moving the goalposts every time? What happens when communities feel politically diluted? What happens when politicians become experts at studying demographics instead of solving the damn problems? See, this isn't just Democrat versus Republican tonight, people. Nah. I want people to think deeper than party colors because both sides know the Black vote matters. They know the Black vote matters. That's why they fight so hard over district power. This is why this is about power. That's what this is about. Power. And I think Black people, we are tired of feeling politically important during election seasons, but emotionally invisible the rest of the damn year. We're tired of it. That's frustrating. That's very frustrating. Now, before people twist my words and all that, I'm not saying voting doesn't matter. I'm not saying that. I'm saying people are frustrated because they want voting to feel meaningful again. Going to those polls, getting up in the morning, they want it to feel meaningful again. There's a difference. And another thing, why does it feel like Black communities always get studied more than served? You didn't hear what I just said. Why does Black communities always get studied more than served? Think about that. They know our spending habits because they studying it. They know our neighborhoods, that's studying it. Our fears, our music, our social media behavior, our churches, our angers, our traumas, because they're studying it. But somehow, after decades, we're still having the same fucking conversations about schools, about crimes, about housing, about healthcare, about food, mental health, economic opportunities. How? Can't understand it. How are we still here? This is why most Black people are angry. This is why. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much and feel ignored. Facts. And let me say something else tonight. You know, I come on here and I give different subjects and stuff like that, but when it's about my people and what's going on, I get really fired up and I have to do this. So let me say this tonight. Every Black person does not think the same politically. We just don't. We just don't. And that's another problem with how politics treat us. Sometimes it feels like society expects Black people to vote one way, speak one way, think one way. And if one of us question anything, suddenly people act like you betrayed your race. Get out of here. Come on. People got questions, real questions, and they deserve real answers to those questions. See, respect, listen, always going to ask those uncomfortable questions, man. Always. So if democracy is truly fair, if they're truly fair, why do district maps become such wars? If they're truly fair. Why are politicians so obsessed with controlling boundaries? Why are court battles consistently happening over voting maps? That's because maps equal influence. In return, influence equals policies. And policy equals money and power. That's the truth. And some Black communities feel like they are constantly fighting to keep their voices from being watered down, constantly, over and over. Now let's go deeper. Pause. The emotional damage of this stuff, man, it's crazy. The emotional damage of this don't get talked about enough. It don't. I want you to just imagine growing up hearing your voice matters. Your voice matters. And that's going to be taught and said to my kids, my grandkids, their kids, on and on and on. Your voice matters and your vote matters. Right? Your voice matters, your vote matters. But every year, your neighborhood still feels forgotten. This creates distrust. And once people lose trust in the system, that's dangerous for any county. Because hopeless people stop participating. And when people stop participating, other people gain even more control. So you see that cycle. That's why I tell people, don't just get emotional. Get educated too. Get educated. Go out, learn your districts, Learn local politics. Learn who's control of the school boards in your neighborhood, the judges, the city councils, the sheriff's office, state legislators. Because sometimes the biggest decisions affecting Black communities don't happen in the White House. They happen quietly at local levels. Nobody's paying attention to. That's where real power moves happen. The real power moves happen there on a local level. And another thing I'm tired of. I'm so tired of seeing Black pain marketed every election season. And I said what I said. Every campaign suddenly becomes, look at the struggle, look at the racism, look at the poverty. Okay. But where's the long-term investment after the cameras leave? Man, people are exhausted from symbolic politics, policies, and everything like that. People want results. And yes, I know some people watching right now are very, very uncomfortable. Good, I don't care. Because silence ain't gonna help nobody. Okay, silence is not gonna help anyone. Now let's talk about division. Let's talk about that too. Because one thing I notice, the more divided regular people become, the easier it is for powerful people, right, to stay comfortable. And we don't want them comfortable. Keep Black people fighting each other. Keep poor people fighting middle class people. Keep races arguing. Keep generations arguing. And while everybody is distracted, the real power structures keep moving quietly. That's why critical thinking matters. Critical thinking matters. And to be honest, most Black people are emotionally tired. Not weak, because we're a strong group. Just tired. Tired of feeling unheard. Tired of watching communities struggle. Tired of the promises. Tired of feeling used when election time come around. We're just tired. And some people don't realize how deep political exhaustion can affect a community psychologically. Right? People start disconnecting. They stop believing, stop hoping, and hopelessness communities become easier or faster to manipulate. That's why knowledge matters. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Not blind loyalty. Not emotional reactions. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Ask questions. Read. Research. Get off of that social media. Research. Think critically. Think. Because if politicians truly work for the people, then the people should understand the game being played. Look, tonight, that's all I'm trying to do. Let you know how the game is being played. Get people thinking again. I'm not telling people what to think. I'm telling people to think. That's a big difference. And another thing before I go. Black history, please listen, didn't come this far through sacrifice, through marches, through blood, through people literally dying for voting rights, just for us to become mentally disconnected from politics completely. You can't get disconnected like that. Nah. Whether people vote or not, understand this. Power respects organization. Always has, always will. And if communities don't stay informed, other people will make decisions for them. That's just the reality of it, people. So tonight's conversation isn't about fear, not at all. It's about awareness. And maybe, just maybe, more people need to stop looking at politics like entertainment and start realizing these decisions shape real lives. Your rent, your schools, your safety, your taxes, your future. Shit is real, man. And maybe the biggest question tonight isn't even, do politicians pick voters? Maybe the bigger question is, have people become so distracted, right? They stop realizing how much power they really have together. Let me say that again. Have people become so distracted that they stop realizing how much power they actually have together? Think about that. So we got all this stuff going on. We got the war going on. We got the voting rights. We got everything going on at one time because we're distracted by that. Where are those Epstein files at? And for my final thoughts tonight, listen, you don't have to agree with everything I said here tonight. And that's not the point. Okay. My point here tonight is to make you think. Research, question, learn. Okay? Don't let social media headlines think for you, please. Also, don't let politicians emotionally manipulate you. And don't let frustration turn into hopelessness. Because once people loses hope, they start participating. And when they stop participating, power gets even more concentrated at that time. This is bigger than politics. This is about voice, representation, and whether people still believe their community matters. Once again, I'm Red Specs. This was Unscripted Conversations here tonight. Somebody had to say it. I'll see you next week.